Here we are in Bentwater Air Force Base. We're about 2.5 hours outside of London filming a sequence for Fast and Furious 6. It's called our Antonov sequence. And it's getting dark and we'll be filming all night for the next 3 weeks.
The great thing about Fast 6 is that the scope has gotten bigger. That's how crazy we are. Ride or die.
Ride or die.
The Antonov sequence, I'd never done anything close to that scale. It was the ultimate challenge. Basically designed 7 action sequences that's happening all at once.
The finale of this movie is something that we had talked about having in the 2 previous films, but we didn't know how to actually make it happen. So when we started to talk about 6, we pulled out the previs and we started working with that to see how we could actually make it fit into this film.
We're supposed to be on a runway with this Antonov, which is a massive airplane with a wingspan bigger than a football field.
And a lot of obstacles with cars being lifted off the ground and people fighting on them. And Justin's very, very picky on things looking real.
He needs to start looking over, or else I don't buy it, you know? I felt it was important to have something practical to always play with. So we basically built our own Antonov. We had the wheels built with the fuselage. We built some wings, we built the engine.
And we built a system whereby we could tow it down the runway at up to about 30, 35 miles an hour, using a big 6-wheel, 500 horsepower turbocharged truck. It's massive, big.
And then I think we had like 6 cars working at the same time to shoot that sequence.
You can watch Andy with all the drivers, and they're mapping out every shot first on the ground and rehearsing them.
Ben, you're just going to come in, you're going to make your turn. You guys got to go off the edge of his camera.
I was doubling Han, so we had to do quite a bit with the vehicle. We do like a very low-speed rehearsal, but then when you do it on the day, everything's different because the cars are approaching at different speeds.
And then we had to do this at night. So every run had to have semis with lights going.
We could light the runway, but you couldn't light from the airplane because we didn't have an airplane. So they built these lighting rigs on trucks that would move with us for the sequence as the lighting grid. And so the runway became very busy with this massive Antonov going down the center of the runway with lighting trucks following you at speed, 6 stunt cars slamming into each other. Pull away, you start to get away, Steve, and he comes right back in and slams you, and you guys hold.
We've got to be aware of not going under the wheels of the plane. The other drivers, we have to make sure that they're not too far ahead of a wheel, because if you pitch them the wrong way, they get run over. You have to be very aware of everything that's going on around you.
One of the gags that Justin wanted was that one of the cars gets knocked into the jet wash of the plane. So that was a tough one.
You're trying to lift a 2.5-ton vehicle at speed. You have to have some big equipment to do that. Our wire team put it together. Tested it a couple of times, came up with this system here, and now it's D-Day. And away it goes. These release, go over here.
And it's not just the designing for cars, but there's, you know, stunts. And for all these actors to go all out, that's a challenge in itself.
I had a harness on. They put cables all around me, everywhere, and I was hanging off on the car. It was very cool, very different from what I expected.
And then we had these motion bases where we could take a vehicle and put our actors in it, and then either through hand controls or through pre-programmed digital computer controls, we could move the car and shake it and put them at crazy angles and give it the right sort of dynamics so that our actors in the car were reacting to real-world physics.
When we did the plane crashing, that was pretty tricky. We had to get 12 cameras set up, and they all had to be at the right spot, and it was a huge deal.
Justin wanted to know what it would take to build a rig that we could drag down a runway as fast as possible on fire at full scale. And in an incredibly short period of time, they built this amazing steel rig that was then rigged with all kinds of propane jets and kerosene pots to create these incredible explosions.
That fire you see and the explosions you see are practical. Our main hero, when he jumped out of the nose, that was real. His car flipping was real. The vehicles, when they lifted off the ground, they were practical. And the ADs and the stunt people, everybody did a great job.
The bar was set high. And it's really a team effort that makes these films what they are.
Everybody has to come together to be able to have that trust, to have that shorthand. It makes me want to keep pushing and try to find other challenges for us.